Okay, so today we're gonna dive into something uh pretty crucial
Yeah.
for, well, I mean, staying ahead of the curve, right?
That's right.
Especially with all this craziness happening with AI.
Yeah, AI is changing everything so fast.
It really is. And we've been, looking into this thing called the 30-day AI protocol transformation,
Right.
which is like this huge roadmap for dealerships to like figure out how to use AI, right?
Yeah, it's a whole system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the core of all this is this thing called the mastery engine.
Exactly.
And that's what we're gonna like unpack today.
Yep, that's the mission.
Yeah, so it's not just about like chasing the, the shiniest new AI tool, right?
No, it's not about the quick fix.
Yeah, you got to build a good foundation first.
Exactly. It's a solid foundation.
For real growth.
It's sustainable.
Sustainable. Yeah, not just
Not
like
just a flash in the pan.
yeah. Yeah, and to illustrate this whole like,
Structured approach.
yeah, this structured approach, our sources actually point to this cool analogy,
Oh, yeah.
the Wright brothers.
Interesting.
Now, when you're thinking about selling cars today,
Right.
a couple bicycle guys from like the 1900s
Yeah, back in the day.
might not be the first thing that comes to mind, but their journey to flight has some like really interesting lessons for us.
It does. It really does.
Actually, in the AI world.
Absolutely. And, the Wright brothers didn't just suddenly fly.
No.
It was a very deliberate, step-by-step process.
Well, the process.
Yeah, of understanding, building, refining,
Yeah, like testing.
testing exactly.
Figuring it out.
And that's precisely what the Mastery Engine framework is all about.
Okay, so it's like a phased approach.
It is a phased approach
Yeah.
designed to minimize risk.
And maximize success.
Exactly.
Okay, I like.
So our mission today is to break down this three-phase Mastery Engine.
Right.
By the end, you'll understand each phase and how it applies to your dealership.
So we'll know how to actually use this.
You got it.
Okay, cool. Let's jump into it.
All right.
Phase 1, fundamentals.
Yes, the foundation. And the Wright brothers are the perfect example of why this is so important.
Okay.
See, while everyone else was obsessed with building bigger engines,
Just raw power.
yeah, just power, power, power.
Right.
Orville and Wilbur were focused on the fundamentals of flight.
Okay, so they were like studying how birds fly.
Yeah, they studied aerodynamics, observed birds in detail,
Wow.
even built their own wind tunnels to test their wing designs.
Really?
Meticulous, these guys.
Wow. So they were really like understanding the core principles before anything else.
Exactly, fundamentals first.
Okay. And how does that apply to like selling cars today?
It was the same principle.
Okay.
Before you even look at AI, you need to grasp the fundamentals of your business.
Okay. So what does that mean?
Like, what are the essentials?
Yeah.
Like the Wrights needed to understand lift and drag.
Uh-huh.
What are those key elements for your dealership?
Okay. So like first off,
Yeah, what's your dealership's unique value proposition?
okay. So what makes us different?
What makes you stand out from the competition?
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
And then you need to understand your customer's journey
No, yeah. The customer journey.
every step of the way,
From like the first time they even think about getting a car
from awareness to ownership.
to you becoming like a loyal customer.
Exactly. What are their expectations at each stage?
Yeah, because that changes how you talk to them.
Absolutely.
Right.
So you got to tailor your message.
Okay, so then we got to think about our messaging.
Yes, your core messaging and positioning.
Okay, so how do we talk about what makes us different to these customers
How do you articulate your value in a way that resonates?
that they care about?
Exactly.
Okay, and then there's the whole like measuring success thing, right?
Right, the KPIs.
Yeah, the KPIs.
Key performance indicators.
So are we actually measuring the right things?
Yeah. Are you tracking vanity metrics or the numbers that really matter?
Okay, so we got to figure out what really moves the needle.
The real drivers of growth.
Okay, and I guess we got to make sure our team can actually do this stuff right.
Oh, absolutely. The human element is crucial.
Yeah.
Even with AI, you still need a skilled team.
So like training and all that.
Training, onboarding, making sure everyone is up to speed.
Okay, and what happens if we just like skip all this and jump right to the AI?
Oh, that's a recipe for disaster.
Really?
Yeah, like putting a giant engine on a plane that hasn't been tested.
Oh yeah, it's gonna crash.
It's going to crash and burn.
So we could end up amplifying our problems.
Exactly. You could make things worse.
Okay, that's a good point.
Like imagine you buy this fancy AI marketing platform,
Yeah.
but you don't know who your target customer is
Oh, right.
or what message they respond to.
So the AI is just gonna be like,
It's going to be spitting out irrelevant stuff,
to the wrong people.
wasting time and money.
And probably annoying people.
Yeah, potentially alienating customers.
Not good.
Not good at all.
Okay, so phase 1 is all about like
Solidifying those core elements.
understanding who we are.
Your identity, your customer. and how you connect.
Got it. Okay, what about phase two?
Phase two is frameworks.
Frameworks. Okay, so this is where we start building systems.
Exactly, just like the Wright brothers, built on their understanding of aerodynamics.
Right.
You need systems for your dealership.
Okay, so what kind of systems are we talking about?
Well, think about how the Wrights developed those control surfaces.
Yeah, to like steer the plane.
Right, pitch, roll, yaw.
They didn't just like wing it.
No, they documented everything.
They were like scientists.
They were methodical.
Wow.
And they even built and tested gliders before adding the engine.
So they could really control the plane?
Precisely, control was key.
Okay, so for a dealership, this means like having processes written down.
Yes, documented processes.
So everyone knows what to do.
Exactly, consistency is key.
Okay, so for example, like lead handling.
Yeah, does everyone on your sales team handle leads the same way?
Or is it like everyone doing their own thing?
Is it standardized or ad hoc?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And then there's communication.
Like how we talk to customers.
Yes, your brand voice and message.
And it's got to be the same everywhere, right?
Consistent across all channels.
Website, social media, email, even in person.
Exactly, a unified experience.
Okay, and what about like after the first contact?
Follow-up.
Yeah, do we have a system for that?
Do you have standardized follow-up sequences
Based on like what works best?
based on best practices and customer behavior?
Okay, so instead of just relying on individual salespeople,
You're building organizational capability.
so anyone can step in and do it right.
Exactly, replicable and scalable.
Okay, and I guess this helps us measure things too.
Absolutely, these frameworks provide the data.
So we can see what's working and what's not.
You gain insights into performance.
Okay, so we're not just flying blind.
No, you have control.
Okay, so to recap, phase one is understanding the what and why.
Right.
Phase two is establishing the how.
The systems and processes.
Okay, and that brings us to phase three.
Velocity.
Velocity. Okay, so this is where we add the engine.
This is where it all comes together.
Okay.
The Wright brothers finally add the engine after mastering the fundamentals and control.
Right.
And because of their groundwork, they achieve sustained flight.
While others were crashing.
Exactly. Those who rushed the engine crashed and burned.
Okay, so for us, this means AI and automation.
Yes, velocity is about amplifying your efforts,
Scaling our marketing using digital tools.
enhancing your customer platforms with AI.
So AI is like the engine,
It's the accelerator.
but it only works if we have the fundamentals and frameworks in place.
Precisely. Otherwise, you're just amplifying weaknesses.
Okay, so like that dealership that rushed into AI,
Oh yeah, they invested heavily in an AI-powered CRM.
but they didn't have the fundamentals down.
No, they skipped the first two phases.
So the AI just made things worse.
It automated their existing problems.
Leads falling through the cracks,
Communication breakdowns.
a big expensive mess.
Yeah, a cautionary tale.
Okay, but then they went back and did it right,
They applied the mastery engine principles.
starting with the fundamentals.
Understanding lead management.
Then building frameworks for follow-up.
Consistent processes for everyone.
And then finally adding the AI.
Strategically deploying AI to enhance their systems.
And their lead conversion rate tripled.
In just 60 days.
Wow, that's impressive.
It's the power of a structured approach.
So this isn't just for lead management, right?
No, this applies to everything.
Marketing, sales, service.
Training, inventory management, even finance.
Wow, so we got to build that foundation first.
Absolutely, a solid foundation for sustainable growth.
Okay, so the mastery engine is like a way of thinking.
It's a mental model for
It
success.
helps us identify areas for improvement.
You start seeing opportunities everywhere.
Instead of just chasing the latest AI gadget.
You focus on strengthening your core.
Okay, so let's break it down one last time.
All right.
The mastery engine has 3 phases.
Fundamentals, frameworks, velocity.
We start with understanding the basics.
The what and the why of your business.
Then we build systems and processes.
The how to execute effectively.
And finally, we add the AI to accelerate.
Amplifying your strengths and driving growth.
But the key takeaway is
Don't fall for the quick fix.
there's no magic bullet.
Real success takes a structured approach.
Like building a Formula One car,
You need the engine, but also the aerodynamics in the chassis.
all working together.
A symphony of engineering.
So before you jump into AI,
Take a step back.
evaluate your fundamentals.
Identify where you need stronger frameworks.
Because that's the foundation for real growth.
Sustainable and significant growth.
So as you're thinking about your dealership and AI,
Ask yourself,
where am I in the mastery engine framework?
am I building the right foundation?
Am I ready for velocity?
It's a crucial question to consider.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure exploring this with you.
Until next time.
See you then.